Hello everybody, I'm Owen and today I've got a tutorial for you on how to make a thumbnail quick and easy. It's aimed for beginners, but if you're not a beginner you can still learn a thing or two about the tutorial. Not about the tutorial, about how to make a thumbnail and just some tricks and stuff. Now, the stocks I'll be using for this are in my 2K pack where I'll have a download for it. It's just stuff like these. They're nothing amazing, they're just custom stocks. And if you have your own, they'll probably work fine. As you can see, you can probably tell that I have this one used here. And for the one I have planned a kind of style of thumbnail, then you'll need a background picture. I have just a screenshot of my, what's the word for it? Just my screen. But you could have like a screenshot from something happening in whatever, like if you're doing a game that you're playing, or if you've got like a real life video or whatever you're using the thumbnail for, you can just put that in the background, or you can just have the picture for like this if you have nothing that you want to put in the back. Now, another thing is the font I'll be using. I'll have a link to where you can download it in the description. It's Nexa Bold for this one, and the bottom one's Nexa Light, both regular, and they're free, so you don't have to pay for them. So this is completely free. The only thing you need to pay for to make the thumbnail would be Photoshop. But if you can't afford that and want me to make a tutorial on how you can make one without Photoshop, then just let me know in the comments and I'll consider making that next time I decide to do a tutorial. So without any more talking, let's get into the actual designing thing. And the width is going to be 1920 by 1080, but you can do 1080 by 720. Sometimes this one might be too big, but I usually find that it's alright. And the resolution, I usually just go with 72. I don't really know how that changes it. I just know like it won't be as good if it's too low or too high. So I go with 72 and just RGB. And you can give it a name if you want. I'm just going to name it thumbnail and click OK. So what I'm going to go ahead and do first is I'm going to get the stock that I'll be using for my background. And if you are using my stocks that I have in my 2K pack, then I'll be using the 5th one, if that's the one that you want to follow this bit by bit, like word for word I suppose. And you're going to want like a screenshot or something for the background, so I'm using print screen just to get this, but you could probably just like click print screen. You wouldn't need like light shot, which is what I use for picking areas. Or you could have like just a game room picture or something that you found on the internet. It doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to bring this in here, and it doesn't fit because I have it on my smaller screen of my laptop, not my bigger monitor. And usually if I was making a thumbnail I would do the big one, but I'm not going to really bother with that now because it's not too important. It still looks pretty much the exact same as it would. And I'm going to lower the opacity for this now to 79, just for the stock that I'm using. And you can see, you can still see the background, but you have like all the colors and stuff. And another thing I would do would I'd click on my background layer and I'd press Ctrl U and bring the saturation bar right down to 0, just to get rid of all the color so that it doesn't direct your eyes towards the background when you have the text, because you only really want them focusing on the text. So the next thing that we will be doing is the text. So the text I have for mine is how to make a, and I'm going to change that to Nexa Bold, and beneath it thumbnail. Of course you'd put in whatever text you need for yours. So say you're doing a gaming video, you could be like, I actually don't really know what popular things are, so like let's play, and then what the game you're playing is underneath. So this tab here that I'm using to adjust the size and stuff, that's the character tab. If you don't have that and you want to get to it, you click on window and click character. You'll need to make the text bigger using the T, like there's a small T and a big T, that's the size. And to adjust the height between the top text and the bottom text, you press Ctrl A, select it all, and you use the little AA icon that's beside where you make the text bigger and smaller. Now once you have like different text, it can be kind of difficult to change the sizes to get them to still be equal, so you can just press Ctrl T and make it drag it bigger whilst holding shift, and you get your text and put it in the middle. And what I'm gonna do is, for mine, I want the thumbnail bit to be a different color. It'll help to stand out a bit and just show what it's actually about more. It doesn't make a huge difference, but it's completely up to you, but I would recommend it. So for the next part, I'm going to make a new layer and I'm going to get the pen tool. This next part is completely optional, it just adds a bit of uniqueness to it, and you can do it however you want. So I'm going to make like this little curved shape going across the letters, and I made it with the pen, and you can use fill path or make selection, and just because it's quicker I'm going to use fill path. I'm going to fill it in as the blue color that I used for the bottom text. Create it as a clipping mask, press Ctrl J to duplicate it, create that as a clipping mask, but this time I'm going to fill it in as white. And just on the top, get your eraser tool by pressing E on the keyboard or pressing it on the side, and just get rid of it on the top. So you have like this white line going across the bottom and blue line going across the top, and you can do this as many times as you like to try and make it look very, I suppose it makes it more colorful and unique and abstract. And I'm just going to do one more going across the bottom. This one's only going to be white, and just to save time I'm not going to do any more after this one, but you can do as many as you want. So I'm going to do that. Once again, I'm going to make a selection, but you can use fill path. You can press G to get my paint bucket. It might be set to gradient, but you can just hold right click and click paint bucket tool, fill it in as white, and it's already clipping mask because I said it already, and you get that. Now the last actual step to finishing this is just to underneath, if you want any subtext, you can put it in beneath, and if you're using the font I've suggested, I would use Next a Light for this part and make it smaller, and you can just put it in beneath. If you want it closer up, you can have it. I'm going to leave it at the bottom. I think it should be a bit bigger. How did I have here? Yeah, it was a bit bigger. So I'll say about that size. Now there was a few things. This one does look different, as you can see, because there's a few things I've done differently. So one of them is the text is bigger, but you can change it yourself. But what I did is I got the background, I clicked filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and I had it up a bit. I'd say it was about 27.8. It'd be in and around that. So I'd click OK, and you can see it's a bit different now. You can use whatever you prefer. I actually prefer it when it's blurred, so that's why I blur it, of course. And that's pretty much it for this tutorial. It's a quick and easy way to make a thumbnail without spending a lot of time on it, so you can focus on other stuff for your videos like editing and just everything else that you do for videos. So that's about it. I'm gonna end it. If you need the stuff, they're like the backing stocks, you'll get the link to it in the description as well as the font. And like and subscribe if you like the video, and I suppose I'll see you all next time. Bye.